Congressional candidate Lee Reeves is caught with members of his campaign stealing other campaign materials and replacing it with his own. You know, the candidate and the volunteer apple are often in close proximity. Complaint lodged against Tennessee congressional candidate for violating military standards in campaign ads. The Memphis task force makes multiple arrests in the first 72 hours to clean up the crime in Memphis. Former state lawmaker Robin Smith pays $28,000 in a judgment in her involvement with a kickback scheme. More on that. Nashville City Councilor introduces resolution condemning U.S. and Israel for Palestine genocide. A Tennessee professor who is going to be canned for his callous Charlie Kirk comments decides to retire instead. Monument to the unborn to be built on state capitol grounds and more. It's Brandon Lewis here with the 10Con Big 7. These are the 7 biggest stories in Tennessee news that you'll never get from the mainstream media. If you'd like to subscribe, please do text the word news to 423-800-0520. That's 423-800-0520, or you can go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com/subscribe. And as always, we appreciate your contributions. If you want to see us to continue our work as the state's only unbought and unbiased, conservative-focused news publication, you're going to have to give. So go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com/support or send your checks to P.O. Box 625, Signal Mountain, Tennessee, 37377. You can follow us on Gab, Getter, Truth, MeWe, Rumble, X, and all the other places the tech oligarchs have yet to shut us down. Missed y'all. I was in Texas for 10 days. I hosted a conference of my own in the industry where I work that pays the bills. As I always tell people, I don't take any money out of the Tennessee Conservative because there's none to take. And unfortunately, I remember writing a letter to a donor here recently, and it said, "Thank you for standing with us over these many years through thick and thin." And then I had to cross out thick and just put thin and thin, because that's how it always is. So please, TennesseeConservativeNews.com/support. We're in the middle of the summer doldrums, and we need your help. But I came back after 10 days, my industry, and then 3 days, and then another industry conference. That's the longest I've ever been away from my kids. And boy, oh boy, was I glad to get back to Tennessee. Although San Antonio is a real cool place. It's grown on me. I would like to go back. So Lee Reeves, this is the long story. I'm not going to read all this stuff. Basically, in every campaign, campaigns will get caught stealing things. Yard signs, door hangers, flyers, mail, you name it. And they'll get caught stealing something, taking it up, replacing it. And that's what happened with Lee Reeves' campaign. And, you know, people have reached out to his campaign asking for feedback or comment. And so closed circuit transmission, Mr. Reeves, whoever you have hired to do your PR, should know that when something like this happens, all you've got to do is immediately say, "This does not represent our campaign. We have talked to the person in question, and they have been released from our campaign. This is not contact. This is not the type of behavior we condone." Okay, so if you need me to get on the phone with whoever is managing your campaign, I can give them very rudimentary instructions on how to deal with the press when somebody on your campaign team does something untoward. Complaint has been lodged with the Adjutant General of the Tennessee National Guard, alleging that Matt Van Epps has violated several directives of the Department of War and the Department of the Army regarding appearances in military uniform in political campaign ads. Dylan Scott, Army veteran, argues that television ads by Van Epps, who currently serves as Lieutenant Colonel in Tennessee's National Guard, misleads voters about his military status and could improperly imply endorsements of the Army or the Department of War, so on and so forth. The good thing about this stuff that happens in campaigns, for the campaigns themselves, is as these campaigns are running, they're often so close to Election Day that if they're stealing stuff, if they're breaking rules, anything like that, by the time there's any punishment or recompense or whatever, according to the law, the election's over. And so you usually just end up slapping people on the wrist that have either won or lost. And so that's how this stuff typically goes. I imagine not much will be done about this. And if it's done, it'll be done so far after the election, it won't matter. Now, this is some good news. We don't always get a lot of good news. Within the first 72 hours of operation, the Memphis Safe Task Force, and this has been driven by Brent Taylor, Senator Brent Taylor, I wish we had somebody in Hamilton County that would be as on the ball about crime and quality life issues in our city and in Nashville and other places, hotbeds of crime, because all of the power in these cities and counties flows from the state, all of it. And so if the state legislature wants to go into partner with these communities on behalf of constituents that aren't being served by Democrat leaders to clean this crime up, they can do it. And the county mayors and the city mayors can't say or do squat about it. And so it's time that the legislature starts doing what Trump is doing. And that is, if these Democrats will not protect their own citizens in their districts, then the larger apparatus, in this case, the state government, needs to come in and do it. So within the first 72 hours of operations, Memphis has made 93 arrests, seized 28 illegal firearms. It began working on Monday, the 29th. National Guard troops arrived in Memphis on Wednesday, October 1st. Imagine being the Democrats and having to spin your pro-crime agenda in a way that your constituents will listen to and like. That's a tough order. So hopefully we'll see more of this in all these crime-ridden, Democrat-controlled areas because these folks just want to live. I live downtown. The reason I fled downtown Chattanooga is because Tim Kelly would not do anything about the panhandling, the loitering, the drunkenness, the drugs, everything that was all around the home that I had in the city center. So I had to get out into the county. And it's a shame when people have to uproot their entire family just to get to good schools and safe places to live. But that is the way of the world. Former state lawmaker Robin Smith pays off $28,000 judgment in kickback scheme case. So this is all tied up with that crap with Glenn Cassida and Cade Cothran. If you don't know what this is, basically there's a franking budget, which I think they should get rid of entirely, where they give all the members a very small amount of money to send out official mail. So they cooked up this fake company so that they could skim off the top. And, Robin, turned stool pigeon, which is probably what I would have done if I'd been caught in that situation. And so she now has sentencing that she has to face, but she's already paid the penalty. And so October 24th, we'll find out what happens with her. We know that Cassida was sentenced to 3 years in prison, and Cothran received a 30-month sentence for his role in the kickback scheme. So what Ms. Smith gets, even with her cooperation, who knows? But the main problem is this. You have so many people that go up to Nashville, and they are not going there for you. They're going there for the PAC money. They're going there for the special interest. They're going there for the job offers. They're going there to peddle influence. And as they get up there, if you don't have a business or a livelihood that supports you completely and very well, you get up there and you're always looking for ways to shuck and jive and make money off your political influence. And so that's all where the conflict of interest lies. I always say that it's not red up in Nashville. It's not blue in Nashville in the legislature. It's green, baby. It's green. And so many of these people are chasing money, they're chasing influence, they're chasing power, but they are not chasing the actual needs and desires and wants legislatively of their constituents. And I think we're seeing a little bit of a sea change in that with some of the candidates that are running. Guys, we're at our nadir of fundraising in the middle of the summer before the session comes in. If you're on our list and you have never contributed, I don't care if it's $5 or $10, we're about to get in a situation here at the Tennessee Conservative, and I'm going to give you more information on this later, where I'm going to have to make a tough decision. And one of the bellwethers is really just consistent giving. And as I go to the post office box and as I look at new donations that come in from subscribers, boy, it ain't much. And people always wonder, why aren't there more conservative news alternatives? Because you can serve one of two masters. You can serve the conservative GOP primary voter in Tennessee, or you can serve the corporations and the establishment. If I wanted to start this publication all over and cater to the special interest and wrap it in a conservative manner that sounds kind of conservative, but really be pushing for special interest, boy, this thing would actually be profitable. But as it stands, I do this for free. So the least you can do if you haven't given before is to chip in, and if you could do it again, that'd be great. We'll send you, if you give $50 or more, a proud Tennessee conservative tumbler. We'll send you a koozie, my heartfelt thanks, a directory of your elected officials, and you can sleep easy at night knowing you did your part. If you're giving money to national organizations and things of that nature that don't make a difference and frankly probably don't need your money, shift some of that budget to us, we'd really appreciate it. Next story, Nashville City Council. And you can do that by going to, I almost said my other business that I actually work in. But TennesseeConservativeNews.com/support or mail your checks to P.O. Box 625, Signal Mountain, Tennessee 37377. Metro Nashville Councilwoman Jenny Welch, what a beauty, has introduced a resolution denouncing the U.S. government and the State of Israel, claiming both entities are contributing to genocide of Palestine people. You don't even need to know the rest of this. Marsha Blackburn calls it absurd, as it is. The councilwoman has it wrong. She has forgotten about the pain that Hamas, Hezbollah, and others inflicted on thousands of innocent people. She should stay informed. Stay informed. Asking a Democrat to stay informed is like asking a bear not to crap in the woods. It ain't going to happen. Next story, Tennessee professor chooses retirement over being fired in wake of callous remarks about Charlie Kirk. Two East Tennessee State University tenured professors. And you know that you're in a bad situation where no matter how bad you suck, you can't be fired, right? What other institution other than some government indoctrination camp has such policies? But back to the story. Made some real bad comments about Charlie Kirk's death. The pair were quickly placed on administrative leave by President Brian Nolan. That's the right thing to do. Communication Studies and Storytelling professor Andrew Herman chose to retire, while biomedical science professor Russell Brown was on track to be fired by the university. Get rid of them. Monument to unborn children slated to be built on state capitol grounds. A monument honoring unborn children is moving forward on the grounds in the Tennessee Capitol more than 7 years after it was approved by legislators. Sounds about right. 7 years to get something moving. That's good job. Good job. Speedy implementation. The Republican measure, sponsored by Representative Jerry Sexton and Steve Sutherland, was approved in 2018, allowing the Tennessee Monument to the Unborn Children to be built through private funding. The first private donation of $4,000 was recently approved by the Senate Building Commission. And according to Sutherland, at the time, the idea came from ladies that came to us to have that had miscarriages or abortions who wanted a place of solitude on the Capitol campus where they may have a private moment. So, guys, if you want to give to that, I'm sure there's some way to do it. Sadly, I don't know what it is. What's going on this weekend? This is a short one. I'm sorry, short like me, and sweet. I am right now running out, and I'm behind to go to a wedding. A dear friend that I used to go to church with, Philip, is going to, go through his nuptials, is going to make a commitment to a beautiful young lady I got to meet at our Christmas party this year. And Philip's a good friend of mine. So I'm hot-footing it to Alpharetta, Georgia. I got to leave. I'm already behind. I have to fight that Atlanta traffic too, probably. So I got to go grab a suit, a monkey suit, and a tie, and all that stuff, and go meet my beautiful wife. We dropped off the kids at Grandmama's house. And then we're going to come back this weekend, because this is what you really need to know, and try to make it to the 6 o'clock service at our church on Saturday evening. And then Sunday, my good friend Sean's coming over, and we're going to hike the Cumberland Trail and have a little dinner over here. It's good to have old friends that you've had for 20, 25 years that you can just be around and be yourself. I hope you got a friend like that. So, guys, I appreciate everything you're doing. Now, remember, we have TDS, right? Trump derangement syndrome. You can see it everywhere. Everywhere. It is like palatable. But there's something that's even worse, and it's called Trump complacency syndrome. And that is where Republicans think, because Donald Trump is in office up in Washington, D.C., that it changes anything in Nashville or anything at the local level. Let me tell you, it doesn't change anything. And so we've got to be vigilant. We've got to continue to invest our time, our money in these causes, and keep fighting. Now's the time to strike while the iron is hot. It's not a time to backbench or sit on our royals. When you've got momentum, you seize momentum. When you have to build momentum, it's a lot harder. So, guys, we need to move in that direction. I love you. I mean it. I got some announcements about some speaking engagements and other things that are going to be happening shortly. But as for now, I got to hit the road. Brandon Lewis here with the Tennessee Conservative News Big 7. Love you, mean it. Glad to be back. Appreciate all your help. Talk to you soon.